Hey everyone, talking about Noir Extreme Parfum, which just came out in 2022 by Tom Ford. The notes in this are amber, cardamom, ginger, tonka bean, and Guaiacwood, and I believe it has more of some of like rose and jasmine. The original has the kulfi or whatever it's called, a certain kind of dessert and like a pistachio sort of vibe. Some other stuff that the original has, this does as well, but I think they just wanted to keep the list simple for the notes. I like this better than the original actually, and I think the original Noir Extreme. So there's Noir, there's so many Noirs, but there's Noir Extreme, and then this is Noir Extreme Parfum edition. The original Noir Extreme is nice. I think a nuanced mix of kind of sweet, spicy, woody, powder, floral. Has a bit of like a gourmand tilt, but without smelling like an outright sugar cookie. And I could say some of those same things about this, but I also feel like this one smells more like sexy and suave. It's less gourmandy sort of than the original. Smokier, more leathery, but not in like a really hardcore way. Like it's very suavely done. It almost reminds me a little bit, especially in the opening, for some reason, of the smell of hugging someone who smoked a cigarette earlier that day, but somehow not. I don't mean that in a bad way. And that doesn't last, but it's almost like, yeah, hugging someone who'd smoked a cigarette like way earlier in the day. They're wearing a leather jacket and they're wearing some nice fragrance, like a vanilla woodsy type of thing almost, and somehow it just smells alluring and appealing. I'm not a huge fan of Tom Ford fragrances in general. Something about a lot of them often smells just kind of like haughty and stuffy to me, but that's just me. They're obviously very, very popular, just not usually my taste. There are at least 5 to 10 that I do like, but out of maybe 35 to 40 that I've tried, most are not for me, but this is a standout to my nose for sure. Definitely in my top 10 favorite Tom Ford fragrances that I've tried. And yeah, basically, if you've tried the original and you like the idea of a smoky or spicier, more leathery version, but still done very smoothly, like this is not going into Tuscan leather territory or something extreme. This is totally worth checking out. It goes for $230 for 100 ml, which sadly with Tom Ford prices these days, that feels like bargain basement level deal, which is ridiculous. But I do think that that's worth it. It sometimes feels hard to say that about things when that's just such an extreme price to pay for like a fragrance, but considering the market, considering what other things are priced, I do think this is actually fair for once from Tom Ford. Good longevity and projection, leans masculine but not like hyper masculine. So yeah, if you prefer a little bit more unisex fragrances that are like kind of a little bit of sweet amber, spice, ginger, woods, smoke, leather type of thing, I think this could still suit your taste fairly well. I'll put a link in the description where you can get a bottle or a sample. But yeah, this is definitely, I like this way more than I do most Tom Ford fragrances. And I really like the vibe of this where it's like smooth, but still has that sexiness. So it's not just like stuck up sort of smooth, but it's also not, I don't know if raunchy would be a bad thing for fragrance, but it's really nicely done overall. So if you've tried it, let me know what you think about how it compares to the original.